Hi guys, it's Adam from the ZIL group. We've had a number of requests for putting together a very basic file, like literally starting from scratch, just starting from a blank notepad and putting something together. So I had a look at how to do this. It's as all things with ZIL and probably with programming in general, there is no sort of set starting point. To be totally honest, beyond really this chunk of code here, because from that point on, it really depends on what you're trying to do. However, I've looked at what you need to create just literally the very bare basics, and it's effectively what you see on your screen now. So I've created a file, just a Word document that I'm going to call ZIL Quick Code. I'm going to develop it slowly over time. It's going to be a very gradual work in progress thing. I'm going to put the link for it. I'm going to store it on Google Drive. I'm going to provide a link so that you can download it I'll put it in the description for this video, and also of course it's going to be linked in the ZIL group itself. As for this, I'm going to show you now that basically if you just take what's on screen here, now there's two ways that you could do this. Obviously you can type it out, which is obviously great practice for retaining it to memory, or you can do probably what most people do the vast majority of times, and I include myself in this, which is just a good old-fashioned copy and paste. If you watch the recent interview with Steve Maretsky at GitHub, he basically said the same thing. He basically said you think about a game, and you think about a game that's been done previously that's sort of similar, and then you take that, you strip all the specifics out, and what you're left with is what they call a kernel, which is just basically the bones of it, with the rooms and so on and so forth. But every other thing in there that's needed, like a clock perhaps, or a special score feature, something is already there. So they were really just doing the same thing. So they were not writing it completely from scratch. Now, so we're going to do much the same thing. So what we're going to do is, on the screen now is header code and go routine. You need this every single time. Then I put a generic piece of code for the room, a generic piece of code for two objects, which is one is an item of clothing, which you can obviously change. It's set to a coat, but it can be a hat or a pair of jeans. And then the other thing is an item, something that you can play around a little bit with. And we're just going to now literally go. So I use Notepad++, and so for example, you're starting, so everything will have this piece of code here. So if we just very lazily copy and paste that in. Next, you're going to need a room, because you're going to need your player to physically be somewhere. So we can copy and paste this in. Now if you want 2 rooms, 3 rooms, 4 rooms, you just go on and on like that. For the purposes of this, I'm going to just do 1 room. Now the only thing in here, you'll notice that I've got north to X, south to X, east and west. I've done that to save myself time when I do it, because I'm going to be using this file. If you had room A, room B, room C, room D, and of course you don't have to call it room A, you can call it any name you want. But you would then have it, you'd set up your rooms which way you want them, and you have north to room B, south to room C, and so on and so forth. Now in this instance, it's only 1 room, so I'm actually going to be even lazier than that. I'm just going to remove these completely. I'm just going to rely on the game's actual parser. Sorry, my Wi-Fi just keeps trying to reconnect, so I'm just going to lose my cursor a second. Here we go. So I'm just going to be really lazy, and I'm just going to rely on the actual inbuilt parser system to take care of that for me. And then on here, we've got an item of clothing, which is one of the objects. So I can copy that. And then over here, we've got a ball. And again, you can just edit that as you need it. Could be a carrot, or a piece of gold, or whatever you want it to do, or a coin, whatever it is. Right, and that's it. Now I'm just going to walk you through this very quickly. So, standard version up here, or name of game actually. So at the top you would put in the name of whatever game it is that you want to have. Version zip, which is Z3 or Z3. And for that one you could put xzip for Z5, you could do ezip for Z4, it depends what you want. Zip will do most games, Z3 is fine, Z3 is fine. Keep seeing Z because I've been watching too many videos. Right, main loop. constant game banner, name of your game up here, bit of info about the game, your name there, and anything else you want to put, like the year that you made it. Opening text at the top, obviously that's only going to appear the once when you begin your game. Here we have the set global command for the value or whatever you want to class it as here. Room A, which means that when we put move this bit here, when we go move player here, they're always going to be in room A. It's just a standard way of starting it. We're going to include the parser file. The parser will naturally include all the other files like your global variables, your interrupts file, your verbs and anything else. That will take care of that. So room A, we've got the name of the room up here, which is the way that the system refers to it. This is the more English description, which will appear on the screen. Long description, and as I put in here, this would only appear on the screen the first time that you enter the room, unless you've got it in what you call verbose mode, at which point it will appear every time you go in the room. And that's it. So we'll just scroll down, we've got a coat. You'll see something key here is that we've got in for the location, we've actually got in player. So that means it's actually going to be something that is on the player because it's a coat. And you'll see also in the flags we've got take bit because you need to be able to pick it up. You've got wear and worn bit. So that's basically saying that you can wear it, and this is saying that you are wearing it. It's got a routine attached to it, and the routine is just a standard one for objects, which is just the standard thing, which is examine. And that's just so that when we say can we examine the coat, it'll say nice clean coat. Same again for ball, only this time in its location we're putting room A, which is obviously up here. It's just going to be physically in the room itself, and its action, which is down here, is for examine, and it says nice round ball. So that's it. So all we've done is copied and pasted from the ZIL Quick Code file, removed the directional stuff for the rooms, just deleted those off. Now if I did want to put some specific text in there, but it was only a one room game, for example, I could put north, then the word sorry, and then in with the old speech marks we could actually put what we wanted it to say. Perhaps something like you will never leave this room, you're locked in forever, whatever it may be. Okay, so that's it. So having copied and pasted those items in there, so we've got the again header code and go routine, the room code itself, object, and in this case I've broken the objects down into two, which is one is a clothing, one is a physical ball. Copy and paste in there. So you will type ZIL Quick Code.zil, which is the name of the file that I haven't saved it as yet, so let me now correct that little goof. I'm going to save it in here. As you can probably see, I've actually tried this already. I just wanted to make sure this worked before I physically did it. QuickCode.zil. Save that. Okay. There we go. And now we use the same command, but we do the zap. ZIL for zap. To actually build the file itself, and it does it. And now we'll have QuickCode.z3. Go in here, here it is, double click that, and we've got a game.
Opening text, something that sets the scene and name of game, description of game by your name here and any other useful info. Release 1/serial number 190,428/ZILF 0.8 lit J for room. The description of room that displays first time only, or every time if the game is in verbose mode. There is a ball here.
As usual with my videos, all is not quite 100%. And there you go. So, but effectively everything's in here. So you know, you've got name of game, description of game, your name here, room A, description of the room. There's a ball here. We can take the ball. We can drop the ball. We can drop the coat that we're wearing. We can take the coat back that we're wearing. We can look around, we can try to go east, we can try to go north, and there you go. So you've got literally the very basic kernel of a game, and that's it. So that is a very, very, very basic game, and obviously what you do from that is, using this, is you could just, if you wanted, you know, 3 rooms, you would just take that, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste 6 times, and then you would just make sure that your directions match up. Change the name of that, say room B, room C, or give it some nice names like foyer and parlour room, bedroom, bathroom, whatever you want to call it, and then you would just do it down here. So north to bathroom, south to bedroom, and so on and so forth. So that's it. That's just a very basic one, which I hope is going to be of some use. As I say, I'll put the file link in the description, and I'll share it out in the ZIL group, and that's a very basic room. So hopefully that was some help. Alright, thanks guys. Cheers.